You are listening to the Stop Binge Eating podcast with Kirsten Sarfty, episode number 77. Welcome to the Stop Binge Eating podcast. It's time for you to end your food obsession and begin feeling confident and in control around food. You are absolutely capable of eliminating binge eating from your life, and I'm going to show you how by giving you simple tools and insights that you can apply in your own life. I'm your host, Kirsten Sarfty. Now let's get to it. Hi. How the heck is 2020 going for you? Did you set goals? And are you making progress on your goals? Are you keeping promises you made to yourself? If not, if you are having trouble, then we should work together on it. Just saying. If you are interested, you can request a free mini session at coachker.com/mini, and we can talk about what you're having trouble with and how I can help you. And in case you were wondering, working with me is super fun. All right, now on to today's topic, dismissing thoughts and allowing feelings. What does that even mean? Well, dismissing means to send away. It means, according to the dictionary, to treat as unworthy of serious consideration, to deliberately cease to think about, to get rid of. So when I say dismissing thoughts, that's what I mean, to let them go. Allowing means to permit, to give the necessary time for. So then allowing your feelings means that you're letting them be there. People who are stuck in binge eating are not usually handling their thoughts and feelings in these ways. They're actually doing pretty much the opposite. Let's say you're feeling an urge to binge. You can't stop thinking about eating and you're feeling really uncomfortable. Thoughts are running through your mind over and over about how you need to eat something, you want to eat so badly that eating would just get this over with, and thinking about all the different foods you could or want to eat. The thoughts keep on coming. The discomfort gets stronger and you can't take it anymore. So you just give in to the urge and eat the dang food. What's happened here is that you've allowed your thoughts to keep coming and dismissed away your feeling. You dismissed away that urge. You sent the urge away. You got rid of it and you permitted those thoughts about binging to keep on coming. So let's start with the thoughts. A big part of this work around binge eating is managing your thoughts. It's doing work on your thoughts. Thought work, as we call it. If you're allowing your thoughts to run and swirl and loop around in your mind, then you are not managing them. You are letting them run amok. We're not taught that we can have any authority over what we think. I personally didn't even know this until 5 or so years ago when I was introduced to the life coaching tools and concepts that I now use with my clients and on myself. When we don't know this and don't know how to manage our thinking, then we're just at the mercy of whatever our brains throw at us in each given moment. The biggest problem with this is that our brains, left to their own devices, are just going to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and do it with the least amount of energy possible. This is how our brains are wired in order to survive. Stay comfortable and don't exhaust yourself. Our brains aren't going to default on long-term goals, delayed gratification, future thinking. It's just going to focus on the now. So you have to purposefully focus on what you want to focus on. And this is challenging when your brain wants to think one thing and you want to think about something else. But the effort needs to be put in. You don't get what you want by letting your current programming and your primitive brain call the shots. You got to call the shots yourself and think what you want to be thinking. Now, not only might you just be allowing the thoughts to keep on coming, you might also be judging them, which adds an extra layer of emotion to the whole situation. If you recall from me saying it about 1 billion times throughout this podcast, your thoughts cause your feelings. So when you think thoughts about wanting or needing to eat, you're creating the feeling of desire and feeling urges that are driving you to eat the food. If you're then judging those thoughts and getting upset that you're thinking them, you're not only feeling desire and urges, but also feeling upset and whatever other feelings you're creating with your thoughts about your thoughts. Or you're fighting with them, feeling frustrated by them, annoyed that you're thinking them. You're getting mad that they're there, and this just adds fuel to the fire. This does not make dismissing your thoughts any easier. When you're so caught up in your binge thoughts and are fully engaged with them, you're believing them, you're agreeing with them, then you're going to add intensity to the feelings and emotions you feel. All those thoughts are causing uncomfortable feelings, and you don't want to feel them. You want out. So then you dismiss them away. You get rid of them the best way you know how. You don't work through them. You just numb them, ignore them, and avoid them. You stuff them down. If you never deal with your feelings properly, and if you eat whenever they come around, you're going to find yourself doing a lot of binge eating, overeating, and not hungry eating. Feelings that are uncomfortable are going to happen. And I'm pretty sure you don't want your go-to action to be to eat whenever they do. When you eat to dismiss away your feelings and emotions, you become better at doing that. It becomes your habit and you never process through a feeling. You never truly make it go away. You just ignore it. And that means it's probably going to come back soon since you didn't actually fix or solve anything. When you allow your thoughts and dismiss your feelings, you drive yourself nuts. You eat to make the nuttiness go away and you don't solve any problems. You just create more. So the goal then is to do the opposite of all of that. Dismiss your thoughts, allow your feelings. So many of your thoughts about food and eating are irrational or thoughts you don't want to be thinking. They're thoughts encouraging you to eat, and because you don't really want to eat, deep down you don't, you're getting upset about them. So first things first, don't get upset about the thoughts you think. They are just sentences and words in your mind. They are not harming you. Sure, they may be driving you to eat when you don't want to be, but still, your response to them is what determines if you drive in that direction or not. If you can be calm about your thoughts and just see them for what they are, just words and sentences, then there's no need to get all worked up about them. Also, it is not mandatory that you believe your own thoughts or engage with them. I like to think of our brains as toddlers. The thoughts about food that pop into your mind that tell you that you need to binge are like a toddler telling you that you need to binge. If a toddler kept saying that to you, you'd rather easily be able to tell them that you don't and carry on. But when it's coming from your own mind, you give it way more attention. You give your own thoughts different meaning than the toddler's words, but it would be so much more useful if you treated them the same. You can dismiss away what the toddler says. Dismiss away your own thoughts too. Now, the toddler may come back and say it again and again, but you just dismiss them away again and again. Do it with yourself. It's okay if the thoughts come back. It's not a big deal. They're just words and sentences, and you can let them go and think something else. Your thoughts are optional. There is nothing you have to think. There are not mandatory thoughts. When a thought comes into your mind, you do not have to keep it there. Last year, I had an issue with a thought that I kept thinking. I set a goal for myself each month, and each month the thought that I'm not going to reach my goal would come up, and I'd feel fearful and whenever I thought it, and it was ridiculous because I had no evidence that I wouldn't reach my goal. I actually was more likely to reach my goal because there hadn't been a month in recent months that I hadn't. And I got coached on this. And the first thing my coach told me was to stop judging my thought. It was not useful at all for me to call my thought ridiculous. All that did was add annoyance on top of my fear. Then I had to just stop allowing myself to think the thought. There was no reason to think it. Again, I had nothing to back it up. So in this case, I was able to let go of my judgment of my thought and choose to think differently about my goal on purpose and intentionally. Now, sometimes it's easy to let go of thoughts and think something differently when you can clearly see the falseness in what you're thinking and so much more truth in the useful thoughts that you want to be thinking. But sometimes it's not. If it's not, it's because you're believing it too strongly. In that case, there's some breaking down and uncovering and questioning that would be helpful to do to work through why you're believing the thought so hard. That's what a lot of coaching is about. It's understanding why you think the way you do and learning how to shift your thinking into more useful thoughts and beliefs. What I want you to know now is that you have the ability to think differently, and you can let go of thoughts that don't serve you. So pay attention to what's going on in your mind. Hear what the thoughts are that are in there, and make conscious choices to think what you want to think. And then there's those feelings that you are dismissing away. Stop that. You can't just ignore your feelings. That's exactly what you've done, and it hasn't worked well for you. Your options are to avoid your feelings by eating, or to feel them and not eat. Dismiss or allow. Those are your options. Just like with the thoughts, they're not going to harm you if you let them exist in you. You're going to be fine. It's normal to feel feelings, all the feelings. If you're not willing to allow yourself to feel, then you're going to be running away and eating each time you feel them. Give it a go and see how much discomfort you are willing to experience. Have you even tried? Or do you just give up as soon as you feel something? Both your thoughts and feelings are worth noticing. Even before you dismiss away a thought, you have to notice it. But you notice it, decide it's not right for you, and you dismiss and replace. The feelings are to be noticed too, but you're not going to fix them or replace them. You're just going to let them be. And here's the good news about all of it. If you are dismissing away your unuseful thoughts that are causing the urges and uncomfortable feelings, then the feelings won't last for such a long time, because those thoughts are what are causing the feelings. They're definitely not going to last forever. That's for sure. So, moral of the story, let your feelings be and toss and replace your unuseful thoughts, not the other way around. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Stop Binge Eating podcast. If you like what you heard today and you want more, go to coachkir.com/free. That's COACHKIR.com/free to get some awesome free stuff to help you stop binge eating.